All right, so I'm going to go over stage number 5. I know we in class we haven't had a chance to talk a lot about this, but this is a big part of the process. This is really where we're putting, into practice what we've been working toward. It's the action stage, okay? And so in the action stage, what you're looking is how can they generalize and actually put into action the news stories that they're working on, okay? Again, we're restoring here. This has been the reality, but we want to change the narrative and change the story. And so this is how we're going to do it, practically speaking, not just theoretically. It's great, if my relationship with my parents increased, that would be a goal. But in actuality, what is the actions that we're going to take to help us to get to where we want to go? So, with that being said, this is what I would refer to as the will you do it stage, right? And so how do you assess if a person is ready to, again, thinking about stages of pain? Are they really ready to put this into action? So one of the simple skills that you guys can utilize, and I really wish we could have practiced this together in class, is just asking simple scaling questions. So again, if you think about when you go to the doctor, they ask that scale. I think I referenced this once in class. On a scale of 0 to 10, how bad is this pain? 10 is the worst pain you've ever had in your life. 0, it's like nothing, right? So similarly, I would encourage you when you get to this phase in your video, you want to pose that question. So maybe there's been identified goal, and then in order to get to that goal, you've identified an action step. So I'm going to tell my mom how I really feel about the divorce between her and my dad. I haven't had a chance to talk to mom about this because I'm aligned more with dad, but I really want to be able to open up to her. So this is a big step they're going to take, right? So that's the action. Now, you want to assess if they're ready to actually do that. And so again, you could ask them on a scale of 1 to 10. So we've been together here for 30, 40 minutes, enjoyed our time together. We're getting ready to wrap up, right? I just want to check in before we go about how you feel about actually taking the step that we talked about taking today. So if you don't mind, let me just ask you kind of on a scale of 0 to 10. So 10 is like you're super confident. You feel like you don't have any, you're not second guessing this at all, right? 0, you're like probably sure that, you want to do it, but it's not going to happen. We all know that. So on that scale, 10, you're certain you can do it. 0, you don't think it's really possible or realistic. Where would you rate yourself? So that's just basically a scaling question example right there. And that's what you want to do. You want to assess, you can assess a couple of things. You can assess their willingness. So that could be how you phrase it. How willing are you to actually do what you said you plan to do? 10, you're more than willing. 0, you're really not thinking that you are willing to do this. You can assess their confidence, which is a different measure, right? How confident are you that you can do this? 10, you're super confident. It's like, I got this. 0, like you're scared out of your mind and you really don't have much confidence. So I would encourage you to pick one of those two measures. If you want to do both, that would be even great. But you're going to scale a person on a scale of 0 to 10 as it relates to the action step. And that should be where the direction that you're getting to as you get ready to conclude your recording is you've gotten this person to a point of taking some action toward addressing their presenting problem that they came in with. Okay, so that's really what I want you guys to focus on. There are some tips that I'm going to send you also via a PowerPoint slide about things that you can help as it relates to encouraging people toward action and change. So that could be like a homework assignment that you give them, which could be that action step, and say next week we're going to check in and see if you did that. Because for some people, accountability, being held accountable, is kind of a big deal. There's other things you could do with that person. So like a hypothetical question, I think we talked about, those are good questions to ask. And so hypothetically speaking, say if you did have that conversation with mom, what do you think it would look like? And so that can maybe, as they think through that interaction, maybe they're thinking worst case scenario, but as you're just talking through with them about that, maybe it's not as scary as it originally seemed. So I'm going to send you a list of things, prompts, different kind of strategies that you can use with clients as they're thinking about taking that step and taking that action and helping to promote them feeling more confident about doing that. So that's really it. That's the last and final stage. So I'm hoping that that was helpful to you as you think about all of these stages and how they work together. And I'm not expecting by any stretch of the imagination perfection. Even me as a relatively new clinician, still working on my craft, I know that within a given session, if I hit all 5 of these, that would be like top of the mountain, best case scenario. So, but in this recording, obviously it's kind of, it's more of a laboratory setting, so there's some more control over it. So that's what we're looking for you to be able to do, and demonstrate these skills that we've been practicing, some of which are a little bit newer and we hadn't had a chance to practice, unfortunately, as much as we had intended. But I think you guys are going to do fine. So that would be my final words. And if you have questions, definitely feel free to follow up. I'm more than happy to address those with you, and look forward to hearing from you all soon. Thank you.